So, first thing that's trending is, unfortunately, the Huffington Post reported that on Monday evening, yet another video of a white woman calling the cops on a black person out of spite went viral. Amy Cooper, I believe is her name. Amy Cooper, a dog owner who had unleashed her Cocker Spaniel, Henry, in a section of Central Park called The Ramble, where legally dogs must be on a leash at all time. Christian Cooper, no relation, I'm assuming, a black man, had reportedly asked the woman to put her dog on a leash. She didn't appreciate his request, and what transpired was captured in a video by Christian Cooper, in which the woman, unhappy with being recorded, called the police and said she and her dog were being threatened. In the video, it appeared that she choked, I misspelled that, I won't tell you what I wrote, her struggling dog, and when the leash was finally applied to the collar, the video ended with Henry saying, "Thank you." Amy, can't we all just walk a dog without, going viral nowadays? What do you think about what's going on with this? And did you see that word I misspelled?
I did. I was being nice. I didn't say anything. No, I mean, obviously a ton to unpack here. A ton has been in the news, unfortunately. Some very awful things happening to black men and women in this country by police. And obviously, as a white woman, I feel like I'm not the person to come away from this with a hot take. But honestly, at the end of the day, watching this video, for me, as a white woman, it was really jarring to see how much she weaponized I'm calling the police, I'm scared, there's an African American here and I'm a sweet white lady. And it was jarring for me. And then I had to realize how not jarring that probably was for a lot of people who have experienced this firsthand. So, I think just something for me where I look at that and go, okay, that's an experience I don't know. I will never be on that side of that. And, how can I be better? How can we all be better? Obviously things, if you've been following the story at all, did not turn out well for Miss Amy Cooper. From what I've heard, she had the dog taken away. I know her job is at least somewhat in review, and it looks like she might be on track to be getting fired or got fired. So
did they announce
internet mob justice, man, get shit done a lot faster than
mob justice. That's exactly. Did they announce? Did they like display like where she worked and things like that? I'm sure they did. I'm sure
the internet did what the internet does in these situations, and pretty quickly tracked down where she worked and made sure that the police forwarded to her superiors.
The thing that I took from that video, but I saw that video for the first time today, and the thing that just like what you said, it was amazing how it felt like I was watching an old James Bond movie where the villain always explains their plot before, when they think they've won, like as if the guy was like tied up to a chair and, well, Mr. Bond, I'm going to call the police and pretend like you're assaulting me. And this is exactly what she did.
It felt straight out of like Get Out when she's like on the phone, like sounding like she's crying.
God, yes.
It was straight up. It was eerie.
The way she just went from one to the other. It was her whole tone. It reminded me of, oh man, I'm reaching back real far on this. It reminded me of now stick with me here, a teacher sex scandal I remembered from Florida that happened, where the teacher was being recorded by her young lover on like voicemails and things like that, and she would say stuff like, "You promised me," and "Pinky promise." And when her husband heard those recordings and how her voice sounded like a teenager, like a 14-year-old girl, instead of his 28-year-old something wife, and he was like, it doesn't even sound like my wife, the way she talks to that boy. That's exactly what it reminded me of, because it's the video. She's like, "Stop recording me," and she's verbally standing her ground. Stop this, and I feel threatening. I'm going to call the police, and I'm going to call, and I'm calling right now. I'm hitting the 9, I'm hitting the 1, I'm hitting the 1, and hello, police. And she just totally changed.
Yeah, like I said, it was weaponizing it in a way that, it almost felt like something out of a movie. How big the switch was and how direct it was, but
But yeah,
like I said, internet did what the internet does in these cases. So
oh yeah, they mobbed up. It's cancer culture. Everybody, they activated. Oh no, 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 not this time. We're no. That's exactly. I feel like that's exactly what the internet was saying. Not no, 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 no. We got this, and it was
yeah.
the thing that caught my attention more than. And I think you were telling me a story about how some people it was alarming how some people were more pointing out the was it the pet abuse more than
Yeah.
the racism,
And
blatant
both are
racism.
bad, but some people were like so much more worked up about the dog getting choked than her attempting to weaponize the police against this black man. Like, which neither are good. I'm not condoning choking your dog out, but
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like
people sometimes emotionally respond to animals faster than they do to other human beings.
it's the Michael Vick complex.
Sweet.
I call it the Michael Vick syndrome. I think it's exactly what it is. I mean, it's fun. It was the one thing that kind of stood out to me. It was like it felt like I think we're becoming a little numb to it now that it's happening so much. Now it's like like more and more people that are turning their phones on and hitting that record button so fast. Now it's like, okay, good, he did that, so now he should be okay or more okay than he would have been if he didn't do that. Now that we've gotten that out the way, that poor dog, oh my god. Hey, I felt sorry for the dog too. I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking like in the side of my head,
dog away.
I was like, oh my gosh, he's choking that dog. And it's not like I was thinking about the dog more than what was going on, but I was just it felt like my left brain was going, yeah, the internet's gonna handle her for what she's saying.
Yeah.
But my right brain was like, oh my god, the dog. I was kind of split, but that was mostly because even though one is technically more shocking to me than the other, but it was because I felt like I maybe I was taking it for granted. Maybe I was taking it for granted that I just assumed and I knew that the internet would go at her the way it did. But I was wondering if they were going to mention the dog. But then after that, I was like, then I was shocked on how much people were talking about the dog more than that. So it was a lot of waves that I went through. So I'm assuming her apology is going to come in about a week.
Oh, it already did.
Oh, it did.
She already.
Okay. Oh, that's. Let me assume. Let me try to figure out what probably happened, and you tell me if I'm right about this. Was it a lot of? That's not really me. That's not what I really believe. Probably my best friend is, or maybe like one of the girls. I remember the lady that blocked the guy from going into the apartment. My ex boyfriend is black. When then her ex-boyfriend was like, don't bring me into this kind of a thing. But that's one thing that always baffles me is how some people will go, I'm not prejudiced because I have like 3 black friends. It's like, you're not supposed to know the number. Like, to me, that's worse. Like, the number. Let us know what you guys think about what's going on with the Coopers here, because we're hanging with Mr. Cooper on this situation, and we know why it's trending. What is going on with isn't it crazy how both of their names were Cooper? That's what.
Yeah, every article I read, I was like, that can't be right.
Could you
related somehow, like distantly, like they show up to family, like to Thanksgiving dinner this year, like, oh.
Talk about 6 degrees of separation. If we find out that these 2 people are related by a distant relative, I think that would be the most beautiful thing that could happen with this story. Like, they become friends.
I'm optioning rights for that first script already. That is.
I'm telling you, if they have the same Meemaw, I'm gonna love it. But guys, put it in the box below. Let us know what you guys think about what's going on with the Coopers over there, and was it in Central Park and the Ramble or whatever part of New York. Where the rules are clear that you're supposed to have your dog on a leash, and how was it Amy Cooper? What was the lady's name? Was it Amy Cooper? How she was not representing the Amy's very well this week.
The white lady named Amy. I'd just like to say sorry, y'all. We'll try to do better next time.
Let it be known, you are not responsible for all the Amy's. No, I will not. I'm not going to put that on you. Okay, so
appreciate that.
I'm gonna have to make sure that you're being extra nice to your pets. So make sure, guys, make sure that you're all being nice to your pets, and make sure that you're not weaponizing 911. And if you do want to do those things, or if you want to talk about those things, put it in the box below and let's hear your comments. Keep it nice. Keep it nice. All right. Don't
so unbelievably funny. Like one of those people you just, obviously he's hilarious, but I feel like he's been in so much good stuff, and like growing up on Seinfeld, you kind of take for granted just how funny he is, and to sort of be the standout funny on, one of the funniest sitcoms of all time.